and then make sure you win all the bits that are around about.
So just going back to Righty, I've heard so many stories over the years about how much we paid. There was a set of kit given to the other team. There was $5,000 and 2 kits and some tracksuit tops. That's what I heard. But I mean, we've all been told different stories.
Well, everyone used to say to me that, the previous season he played for Greenwich Borough or had been signed by Greenwich Borough. Now, from memory, Ian said to me he did play for Greenwich Borough, but he wasn't signed. He wouldn't sign for them. I think he played 5 or 6 games for Greenwich Borough, and then he was training. Again, I think Bill was at Carshalton when we took him. And it was he wasn't signed for Carshalton either. But we said to Bill, we'll look after, I think for the next, all the time I was there, we would always play a pre-season game against Bill's teams, wherever he was. He then went on to Crawley at various stages and other teams. We'd always play him. And, there was kit involved early on. We gave some kit. And we helped in other ways whenever possible. It was one of those kind of things. Was there a fee involved? No. But contractually, we wanted to keep Bill on our side. And, he was a key ingredient at Palace at one time. Without working for us, Billy Smith was a big hit with everybody involved at Crystal Palace.
Well, I'm going to move along because, and we're going into this, we're going in the right area anyway. One of my favourite days on planet Earth would have been Villa Park, Holt End, 1991.
Mm-hmm.
90.
Sorry, 1990. I'd love you to eulogise about that day, what it meant to the club, how you felt. I still remember you running down the tunnel at the end, all of that.
Well, that day was part of the season, as it were, because we got promotion and then the season started and we were very much, myself and Ron, very much of a mind of, the people who got us there, we want to give them the opportunity to keep us there. So I don't think in that summer we really made a significant signing. And we struggled more or less from day one. And then we went to Anfield, which is the first time I'd taken the team to Liverpool. And I think I got 27 tickets for that game. And we get there and we actually started very brightly. We had a couple of one-on-ones with the keeper. And I think we might even have hit the woodwork.
We hit a post.
Yeah. 0-0. And we were energy team, we were really energetic. And it didn't take long for our frailties to be exposed. And they started scoring goals. And, I'm thinking, oh no, what's going on here? And it's the last thing you want, you go into a real significant club who are the best, and you want to judge yourself against the best. And we're going there, and beforehand, I'm thinking, this could be really good for the club. If we get a good result at Anfield, it could be great for us. We go there with 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, and I can't remember when, but we got the penalty.
6-0 we were.
I thought it was 5. I reckon it was 5.
Oh,
we're 5-0 down, I think. Anyway,
I've erased it from my memory anyway, so move on.
I haven't.
My assistant at the time was Stan Turner. And Stan Turner grabs hold of my hand in the dugout at Anfield. He says, right. He says, me and you, he says, when this goes in, we're going to run on that pitch and jump up and down. So I said to him, Stan, forget about it. Absolutely no chance. And then as I'm sitting there, I think, yeah, why not? So I grab hold of him then. I had hold of his wrist. And I said, right, and this goes in like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance.
Yeah, going together.
We're going together. We're on the pitch, jump up and down. And it was one of them. We were just ready to go. And Jeff puts it in, rolls out.
Literally, I'm thinking at the wall.
At the back of the Anfield Road end. And it was, sit down. So we get beat 9-0. So Kenny, he was very, very kind. He was too kind afterwards because he said, listen, it was just one of those nights.
Yeah.
You know, everything we did ended up with a goal. He said, if you want, he said, I'll write a letter to the lads saying, you know, it was just one of those nights.
Oh, wow.
So, to be fair, I was flattered at first, and then I thought, no, I don't want sympathy.
Yeah.
You know, this is the reality of playing at this level. I didn't want sympathy. I said, Kenny, thanks a lot. And I saw him not so long back, and, you know, I still think very fondly of that gesture. But I said, no. And I drove home myself that night, and it was the longest drive home. I've been to see my family, my mum, and everything afterwards, and you know. But again, I was in Croydon the next morning, and I had one fella hang off a bus shouting at me, "Oh, how'd you get on last night?" But apart from that, it was reasonably tame, but it was there hanging over us. The next game, I think we played Southampton away. I think we drew. But it was a catalyst. That defeat was a catalyst. Me and Ron got together. You know, we've got to strengthen. We've got to do something. And we had spent so many miles, hours together going up and down motorways. We knew the people we wanted to acquire. And the number one was Nigel Martin. You know, and the first £1 million goalkeeper, I'd seen him play, I would say, 15, 20 times. And I was sold on it. And I said, Ron, you know, if we can, this is what we got to do. And Jerry Francis was manager of Bristol at the time, and he basically blackmailed us into paying $1 million. But we did, and people say to me, or said to me at the time, is it a gamble? I said, no, it's not a gamble, it's blue chip. This fella is blue chip. And he was. Confidence, quiet confidence. You know, he wasn't a shouter and baller. He was exceptional, and he was the start. You know, I can't remember the sequence of the players we got in, but you know, we got some real good players come in, and our season slowly turned around. And then we played Liverpool at home.
What was that one? Not
too long before the semi-final, and we had a good game. We were 1-0 down, and I decided to make a substitution. I think Eddie McGoldrick went down injured, and I looked at him sort of rolling around. I thought, he'll be all right, get the sub on. And sub went on. I can't remember what the change was, but the next minute the physio said, you know, he's signalling to me, McGoldrick's finished. So Eddie came off, and we ended up with 10 men. So we played the last 20 minutes against Liverpool. Schoolboy error on my behalf as manager. Should have waited. But, you know, I wanted to make a change because I thought we had a chance of beating them. We were only 1-0 down. I thought, yeah, we can do these. My schoolboy error, we got beat 2-0. So when we were drawn, I think we played Cambridge in the quarterfinal.
Yes, right, yeah.
I was driving somewhere when the draw came on. And in a way, I'm thinking, no, not Liverpool, not Liverpool. And then it came out Liverpool. So when I did the press, delighted it's Liverpool, you know, a chance to redeem ourselves. I'm thinking, oh no, here we go. But Ian Wright got injured as well. And we decided to play, or I decided to play what was effectively man-to-man across the pitch. I thought, you know, we can do these. We can do these in man-to-man confrontations, played with a spare man at the back. You know, I felt we were good enough to win the game. I was convincing myself we were good enough to win the game. And we did a lot of tactical work on, you know, listen, we're playing the best side. If we can keep the semi-final, the game plan going into that was, you know, we go man for man, we keep it really tight. And, you know, if we're 1-0 down with 20 minutes to go, our fitness, our discipline, and the human nature of being in a semi-final and 1-0 up make you anxious and nervous. The game plan was, we'll come on the last 20 minutes and win the game. And that's how we went into the match. That was the game plan.
What was it like? I mean, the crowd. I mean, obviously, we felt it. I mean, I'm sure most of us here were there. Okay, but what was it like from where you were standing, with all the Palace fans going mental as the goal?
All the balloons. I think it was probably one of the first balloon games.
It probably was.
Well, when I first came to Palace, almost everyone I met was part of the 53,000 who'd been.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, and yeah, my first year, you know, we struggled to get 5s and 6s, and I'm thinking, where's the other 50? You know, Palace is so important that everyone finds something else to do on a Saturday afternoon, you know, when we're playing Bury at home. So it was only when we played Blackburn away in the playoffs. It was the first game, really, I thought, God, there's something, you know, a little bit unique about this. And then obviously when we played Blackburn at home to get through, get promoted, and I saw, yeah, this is the seed of something very, very special. And then, you know, going to Villa Park for that game and the atmosphere that week, I think there was a feeling we could do something. And I think the Palace fans there were not really that, they wanted to win, obviously, but they would have accepted a close defeat as long as we had a goal.
Of course.
Absolutely.
It's always been the ethos of a Palace fan.
Yeah, if we didn't roll over and die, if we really stood there and chin to chin and had the bash, they would have been happy.
They accepted that, yeah, of course.
And again, they, you know, the way the season had gone, I think we were 7 points above the relegation area at the time.
Yep.
We were doing okay, and I knew we were strong enough to be safe. We stayed at New Hall in Birmingham, which was a special treat for us, because that at the time was an exclusive hotel. And, you know, we sort of pampered the players and said, listen, you know, if you're successful, these are the kind of hotels. Prior to that, we were in, you know, not so good hotels.
Travel lodge.
So that one, it was a special occasion. It was an early kickoff. And there was just a little buzz about the place. Half time, we were 1-0 down. And again, it was almost as if, you know, I went in at half time, everything's going to plan. We're 1-0 down. Keep it tight. 20 minutes to go. You know, our strength, our fitness, our discipline, our organisation, we'll get opportunities. We're still in this. We've got a great chance of going through. And I remember at Villa Park, you come out, me and Alan are walking along by the side of the pitch, and you have to walk to the dugouts.
That's right.
You're literally going from the corner.
Yeah.
And as we're walking, the game kicks off. And almost immediately, John Pemberton bombs off down the right wing. My message before we come out, keep it tight. You know, you two fullbacks.
Stay where you are.
Stay where you are. Don't get yourself fucked up. Pembo's gone. And me and Alan are going, no! Don't go.
Brilliant.
And all of a sudden, it becomes random, which is what we wanted the game to be. Because if it was you have an attack, we have an attack, they're going to win. We wanted it random. Let's mix it up. Let's make it, you know, chaos theory on a football pitch. Suited us, didn't suit them. They wanted chess, we wanted chaos. And from the rest of the half and the game was chaos.
I just remember my feeling when the Pemberton cross went over and we scored that first goal. I don't know what I was in my late teens, maybe. I felt tears coming up. I didn't care about the result. We scored against Liverpool.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
Got from 9-0 and we scored against Liverpool.
Yeah.
For the rest of the day. I mean, in fairness to the Scousers, okay, outside the ground, okay, there was none of this aggravation.
No, they're right. They were very, very good. Yeah.
Magnanimous?
Yeah, very.
They came. I've still got this memory. This guy coming up to me outside the stadium and shaking my hand. He said, "Enjoy your day at Wembley, mate. You deserved it." Okay.
I remember being on a train on one of the specials on the way home, and we had this ginger copper who used to come to away games with us all the time. And he walked through, and we were just, it was silent. And he went, "Yeah, the cup final." Bouncing, and we were done. We were literally.
It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. And we had it. Well, you can imagine it was a great warm feeling of accomplishment, the realization that we were going to be part of the cup final, a spectacle we'd all seen on television for all those years, and it was a special feeling.
This is fantastic. Go on, mate.
A mate of mine, he bought a Rolls Royce and painted it red and blue stripes.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure Gary told me once that he gave Ron a lift from Wembley or whatever it was to catch up. But yeah, it's.
Ian, how about you asking the question, mate?
Yeah, I mean, I must confess, Steve, I didn't do the semi-final because my mate took me out of it. It was live on TV, the first ever semi-final live on TV. I've been at the 2-0. I didn't go to the 9-0 either, but I must confess that I apologise for not being there. And I regret it to the day I die that I was not at Villa Park that day. But I was at both finals. So let's move on to the final. Proud moment, obviously, walking out of Wembley against your old side. I'd like to hear your stories about the first day, the 3-3, of course, and the emotions. But the question I want to ask you is, any regret naming Ian Wright in the starting 11 for the replay?
It's a bit of a blur, to be honest. Again, we had that decision to make. Ian Wright had probably hardly trained with us, and it came to cup final week, and he was wanting to play, and I'm thinking I can't play him because, as you said, he'd been on crutches. He's only just come out of his plaster. It was a big decision, and the way we played against Liverpool, I thought, that way of playing, man-for-man mentality, was the best way of playing against United. And, I did really, really struggle with the decision. I knew he was our sort of talisman, the goal scorer. But the shape we played, the personnel we had, 100% fit, it suited everyone more to play man for man. So, I made him sub, left him out.
How did that go down?
No, he was all right about it. The Ian Wright at this stage was a totally different animal from the Ian Wright who started with us, who was, hungry to get where he was going double quick. Whereas at this stage, he hadn't proven himself at the top level, but he knew he was good. And we knew he was good, and we knew he was our main man. But, having broken his leg, to come back in 6 weeks and play FA Cup final, you're thinking, oh, blimey. Haven't had the great victory in the semi-final. I'm thinking, the right thing to do is stick with what we had. And then the final was a real experience. Again, another kind of game where you think, I thought we were going to come out of it on top. And, 3-3, looking back at it now, I haven't watched the whole game again, but I have seen the extra time. And, I always thought we were on top when we weren't. So the 3-3, I was looking back, reflecting now, I was pleased. I was really pleased.
Result. So what about the replay kits? Where did that come from?
I don't know. Me and Jeff, we were told we had to change kits, and our away kit. I always liked the sash.
Yeah, we all
I thought that made us distinctive, and for some reason we couldn't do that. And again, we weren't expecting to have a replay. So we only had 4 days lead-in time
to go get a kit.
To get a kit. And to be honest, I what kit you wear, it don't matter who's going to win the game. It don't bother me. I'm not superstitious or anything like that. So yellow and black, I was happy with. I can't remember whether I instigated it. I thought Jeff Thomas did. He'd mentioned, so let's wear yellow and black, and I said, yeah, that sounds all right. And I think, obviously, it was my final say-so, and that's why we went with it. Palace fans obviously hate it now, but from my point of view, it's a kit. Makes no difference.
Probably worth a fortune, those things now, aren't they, Ian?
Yeah, Paul Gear's got one. They reckon there's only about 1,000 of them made for fans or something like that. So One of our mates has got one in pristine condition.